Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, September 1st, 2021. No intro. Wednesday night Dynamite. I got to be honest with you. If I thought the remnants of the hurricane giving us torrential downpours right now and the internet going in and out tonight, I was saying to myself, hey, that's not so bad compared to what others have and are going through. I tell you, the unknown can really rattle your mind sometimes. Dynamite just went off the air, and I tried my hardest to pay attention to the last half an hour, 45 minutes of the show. What I have been doing is I literally ran into my storage room. I'm wearing different clothes that I planned on wearing. My hair is still wet, as you can see. And I grabbed 2 egg boxes of wrestling cards, photos, private letters, and I ran from the storage room, which is about 600 feet from my house in a different building, and ran back in here and started throwing papers around like crazy, trying to find the addresses I had for Daphne and the telephone numbers I have for Daphne. Over the years, you lose touch with people. And I had a very friendly relationship with Daphne. Helped her go through some rough times, personal life. She's not, look, I want to make this clear. We don't know what's going on right now. I'm just going to throw it out there. I haven't watched the video. I have no idea. I just left a voicemail message on what I believe is her cell number. Now, I have my Twitter floating in the background, and, I sent a tweet directly to Sean Ross Sapp, somebody I never talked to before. But I figure, you know what, at the end of the day, someone who is going to be pretty, reliable with stuff like that, I said, okay, I'll send him the information I have. Maybe that helps. No response. I see tweeted about the AEW fence and everything like that. And I'm not trying to get mad at him. It has nothing to do with him. But I think everything is just so nuts right now that I think just people just don't know what to say and what to do. Here's the deal. And again, my mind is totally shot right now. So I sincerely apologize for the lackluster show tonight. Tomorrow night I'll be back here, and hopefully we will have good news. And if we do, we will have a banger of a show. Earlier tonight, about maybe 40, 45 minutes ago, Daphne went on Instagram Live. And apparently, from the DMs that I got from people out there, she had a weapon and was contemplating suicide. And she ended the video abruptly, and no one has been able to reach her. It's not a joke. It's not a prank. And I tell you, I've had a couple of close friends of mine die from ODs. Most unintentional, 2 were intentional. And I can't tell you whether you talked to someone 5 minutes ago, 5 months ago, 5 years ago, I got to be honest with you. I know this sounds crazy, but, I haven't talked to her in several years, but I felt so helpless and unprepared. And I'm telling you, I almost after the show wanted to go grab my cell phone and take a picture inside. It looks like somebody vandalized my house because I grabbed 2 giant boxes, threw them in the house, and just dumped them and just going through papers. And, I don't want to reveal the address, but, this is one. This is a letter, with a phone number on it and stuff like this. And I got other things too. And I'm only mentioning this is because, there's a lot of people out there that claim to have this and claim to have that. And really what they're just doing is Google searches or an Intellis search. I called the number that I have, and I have papers that span about a 10-year span, and the number is the same. I don't know if it's good. I was very polite, but the bottom line is I said, look, you know, when she was going through, I don't want to get too personal here, regardless, but when she was going through some pretty rough times with her past marriage, you know, we had some real serious combo because I went through some bullshit as well. When I was down in sometimes, I mean, she was a great friend to talk to. And I tell you, man, just felt helpless. That's why I always say to everybody out there, and you know what's going to happen, the fucking formula, and I promised myself I wouldn't curse tonight, but that formula that you see online, we need to be better. We need to let everybody, you got to bring, but you never know. You never know. You never know. I don't want to start banging my desk and then things break. You never know what is going on the other side of that computer. I saw a guy that I never heard of today that had a YouTube channel. Never heard of him before. YouTube inadvertently canceled his account. And this guy was led to massive tears, depression, and everything else, and over a YouTube account. And everybody pulled together, and he got it back. And that was an example of something beautiful. And then you got others that will mock and put people down, and, you know, it might be a joke to someone else out there, but for someone on the opposite side, it's no joking matter. That's why so many times, oh boy, AS7607, her cousin committed suicide a couple of years ago and took a couple of days to find out. It's no joke, man. It's no joke. And I got so many DMs tonight because everybody that has been following me for a very long time, oh wait, I'm getting a message. Somebody posted the fucking video on YouTube. You know what? I gotta just see whoever this fucking asshole is, you stupid motherfucking, oh man, I'm looking at this. I can't. Asshole puts it up on YouTube. To the person who just DM'd me, he's a good guy. That's just wrong, man. That's just wrong. For fucking hits. You know, I tell you, you know what pisses me off too, man? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this sounds a little bit petty. I posted this tweet saying that I had Shannon's phone number and address. I posted it 17 minutes ago. 3 likes, 0 retweets, 0 responses. Now, I have her, apparently a phone number, and what's probably her address in Georgia, and I put it out there. And no one that goes through social media right now doesn't see that and say, you know, let's put this out there, retweet it. You know, somebody that knows her, is this the phone number? Is this? I'm not going to make it public because if it's not a phone number anymore, somebody would be mighty angry with yours truly. And yes, the person who sent me the video just sent me also, he cursed the person out for posting it on YouTube. But you see, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know how to react to this stuff. I mean, I know how to react to it, but yeah, I'm not going to take out like what's inside the envelopes and stuff. But all I know is this. If anybody out there has a Twitter account or an Instagram, I'm not doing this for attention. I'm not doing this for likes. But it just, I got to be honest with you, it blows my fucking mind that there are hundreds and hundreds of people that follow me on social media, that are on social media right now talking about Daphne, and I post up there the last 2 digits of the phone number and say, I have in front of me her address, her this, I have letters and everything else. I have tons of other stuff. Let me know if this is good. Maybe so. Sean Ross Sapp, and I'm not calling him out. I only looked at his account because he's one of the more reliable and good guys out there. He says that the authorities were just sent to the last known address. Last known address means you don't know if the address is good. You're saying to the last known address. How do you know that this is not her address? If someone out there sees the stuff that I wrote, I'm not looking for attention. I'm not looking for praise. I'm not looking for hits. Retweet my fucking shit. And maybe somebody out there that knows her, that sees the number or, recognizes the zip code or something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Because, man, social media has gotten so horrible. It's so fucking horrible. This formula. Everybody is all praying, concerned, sad. And then 2 days later, they'll be fucking, I just can't. I just can't. I hope she's okay. And I hope to God that this is her phone number. Because I left a message. I don't know. If it is her number, maybe she'll call back. Because, believe me, I became friendly with her in 2001, 2002, actually. And the last time I talked to her was probably about 6-7 years ago, which would have been about 2014, 15. So about 15 years. I don't know, man. I just, I don't care about running in the pouring rain and grabbing boxes from a storage room at 9:30 at night and throwing papers everywhere. Just try to find something that has a zip code or a phone number or something on there. You find it, then you find another one, then you find another one, then you find another one, then you find another one. And for a short while, she had an address in Florida too, but I don't want to talk about that. And I'm like, here, this might be still good. Nobody responds. Nobody retweets. Nobody tries to put that out there. Instead, what an awesome main event for AEW Dynamite tonight. The cage went down. Kenny Omega has black hair now. Sorry. It's not really on my mind right now. I did not watch that video just now. I did not watch it on Instagram Live. Man, there's some people right now with blue check marks. I don't know how you can start joking with each other about stuff that just went down on Dynamite. I mean, I don't know. People don't give a shit unless it's somebody that they know or truly care about or like or follow. And I'm sorry for being a little bit of a jerk tonight about this. But man, you're talking about someone who just did a video with a fucking gun, threatening to blow her brains out, disconnects the thing. Everybody and their mother is trying to reach her. And the people that act like they care, you give them information, and I put it out there for anyone else to look at. My DMs are open. Yeah, I think this is her number. This and that. I know who is legit and who is just somebody looking for a tweed hand job. Nothing. I pray to God, Shannon, I pray to God that you're okay. And as I said on that fucking voicemail, there was a lot of dark times in her life, in my life. We weren't close. I don't want anybody to think that. We weren't like best buddies or anything like that. I know some of you who are a YouTube channel member, I posted a little video clip about, 6 weeks ago of her and I hanging out after hours, and just to show you how cool of a chick she is, and this is somebody that I care about. This is somebody that I truly, truly am concerned about. Even if I didn't know her, I would be concerned. But the fact that, I know her for 19 years, almost 20 years, and, worked at wrestling events together, had private personal conversations, different things. And to see that screenshot on YouTube, I couldn't press play. You see that screenshot, and it's like, oh my God. I hope she's okay. I hope she's okay. She's been battling a lot of depression. She's had a lot of pain issues from the neck injury in TNA. She's had issues, obviously, in relationships. Plus, you get older and you lose touch with family, friends, people pass on. And all that weighs on you. Monday, when I did this show with Bish, I posted the photo of my mom. And I almost lost it for a second because I don't know if this is the last birthday I'm going to have with her, their condition. I don't take that for granted. And if that makes me look like a little sissy or a mama's boy, fine. Call me that all night long, all year long. But when you see somebody that you've been friends with for almost 20 years, and I know how awesome this girl is, forget Daphne for a second. Shannon, she did not turn evil or go to the dark side over the last couple of years. She's always been a sweetheart. And whatever she's going through, I hope to God somebody lives near her house, could show up there, grab some fucking pizza, just hang out, chill all night long, talk, get it out of the system. Lord knows how much of that pain that she's got inside that just builds and builds and builds and builds, and you can't tell anyone. You hold it in and in and in and in and in. And the littlest of thing could just light the fuse. I don't know what the hell happened. All I know is that I hope to God before we finish this show, which is going to be soon, I hope to God that we get some good news. I hope to God that somebody posts something that they're with her and she's okay. I hope to God we get good news. And Shannon, if you see this, you know how to reach me. You've got 4 different ways, and 2 of them that still exist. So, all right, everybody, let's talk about the shows tonight. I don't want everyone to be down. I mean, what can we do at this point? Honestly, what can we do? We're going to sit here for the next hour and pray and hope. And is that going to suddenly, we don't know what's going to happen. It's out of our hands now. It's out of our hands. But I will tell you from time to time, I'm going to reload this to see if anything pops up. It just blows me away. It blows me away to see some people with blue check marks that were just writing a half an hour ago, how shook they are of this. And they're fucking joking about each other going to Chicago over the weekend. I mean, do it in the privacy of your own fucking home or text messages or something like that. That just is disturbing. I know the Donzilla Army is not part of the clan. I think you figured this out now. There's a certain group, a clan, and they're not all pro AEW and they're not all pro WWE, but there is a certain clan online that if you are not part of that clan, no matter how relevant or how important, you are just ignored. And that's fine by me. As far as talking wrestling stuff, giving our opinions, let's talk about Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon. Today, RIP NXT was trending. Somebody posted it to me with 9 other podcasters. I guess he wanted 9 reactions. And I didn't mean to be sarcastic. I'm like, we talked about this already. This isn't news. This isn't news. Almost every podcaster out there has figured out The only way you make money on YouTube outside of Super Chats is by having tens of thousands of views and loads of subscribers. Because trust me, everyone, 20,000 views that I get on a video, I might make $7, not including Super Chats. So people have figured out the way to make money is to gossip and to clickbait and to gossip and to clickbait. Vince McMahon, make this clear, Vince McMahon, and I'm not looking at notes. Vince McMahon has been overseeing NXT since 2010. Bruce Prichard was part of TNA, if I remember correctly, from 2010 to 2013, I think. So Bruce Prichard came onto the scene back at WWE years later. Nothing has changed, everybody. Nick Khan, one of the head honchos, told you this is going to be headed up by Triple H and Bruce Prichard. What did everybody think? That when it comes to NXT, Vince is out playing golf or working out at the gym? They already knew Bruce Prichard was involved with it. Vince McMahon oversees every goddamn thing about WWE, NXT, anywhere. He oversees everything. The truth about what Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard are going to do is what Vince McMahon has been doing since the late 70s or early 80s. Maybe 83, 84, whatever. He is going to get evaluations from Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Bruce Prichard is going to oversee what's going on. They're not going to sit in the creative room. We want a wedding. Oh, but this is the new NXT. Look, the pastel colors. Wedding. Shut up. Wedding. You know, Indy Hartwell and Dexter. No, this is NXT. We're going back to our roots. Wedding. But I don't remember an OVW wedding. Wedding. Vince McMahon oversees every goddamn decision. And once people started getting caught with their bullshit today, did you see the wording change? It went from overseeing production, taking over production, and taking over writing to making big decisions about NXT. You see how it's changing already? This is not news, everybody. Triple H is still the head honcho in NXT. At the end of the day, though, things get thrown past Vince McMahon's desk. Not every little thing about NXT, but if they want to put a heavyweight championship on someone, it's going to run through Vince's desk. If they want to put someone in a major feud, it will go through Vince's desk. If they want to bring someone in and elevate them, it goes through Vince's desk. If they're going to try to build a character or build a storyline, it goes through Bruce Prichard's desk. That is what's going on. That is nothing different. That is the same. I know. You see the running pattern since 1997? The truth is boring. The truth is not sexy. But wasn't there a shirt, the truth is the truth? That is the truth. But again, everybody out there, you know, there's some people out there, they need things to fail to prevail. And they need to clickbait and be like the National Enquirer in order to get your attention. You put the truth about something, people ignore it. It's not sexy enough. They want a reason to say, fuck you, Vince. You're going to kill NXT. You're going to kill it further. Fuck you, Vince. Get out of there. It's time to retire. Fuck you, Vince. And everybody, and people respond, yeah. It's about time to make a change. Fuck you, Vince. That's what people want. That's not what I want. I want the truth. Getting a DM. All right. Got another number for her. I'm going to try this now. And trust me, if this is a good number and she picks up, I'm sorry you'll see me wearing my boxer shorts. I am running into the other room. This is not something I would put on the air. I want to see if this number is good. This is another number that I had. I just want to see if it's good. I'm not putting it on speaker. The mailbox is full. It's full. I think the number I had might be actual home number. This other number that I had was in my other phone, but somebody else just confirmed that number, so I just tried it. Voicemail is full. Telling you, look, it's not about, it's hoping that somebody doesn't end their life. Plain and simple. That's plain and simple. I will tell you all this, you have friends out there, people in wrestling, people outside of wrestling, people that don't even know what wrestling is. One thing you should always keep in a drawer, trust me, I just learned the hard way. In a drawer, keep a little phone book. I know the little black books nobody has anymore. Keep a little book or keep it saved as a text file in your computer. All your friends, phone numbers, if you have an address, you never know when it may be needed. Bottom line. She is very much loved. I got to tell you honestly, everyone, I've said it on the shows, with my pain and everything. We'll go right back to the show, but, I had that horrible accident in 1997, and I still have permanent injuries to this day. And from what people tell me, it's just going to get worse. Eventually, I'm going to need a hip replacement, and eventually I'm going to need this and this and this. When people see the old vintage Don Tony stuff from the indie stuff, keep in mind that I had to take loads of painkillers just to even move around halfway decent. Now I got a spinal stimulator inside me. Point is I've told people that if my doctor or any doctor out there stops giving me my pain medication because of all the people who abuse pain medicine all throughout the world, if I can't get, my pain treated and dealt with, I don't know what the fuck I would do. Seriously. It's crossed my mind so many times over the years. No matter how much somebody tells you it's going to be okay, if it doesn't feel okay, the words don't penetrate, and man, I hope, like I said, I hope to God we get some good news before this show is over. It's going to be a really late night if that's the case, but I'm keeping my phone right here. I am going to periodically go check out Twitter to see if there's any responses. Nothing. It just blows me away. I could write, seriously, right now, I could write on Twitter, fuck you, Vince McMahon. I guarantee you, before the show is over, we will have 10 times number of retweets and likes than the post that I said, look, I think I got Daphne's current phone number and address. That's when shit is fucked up in this world. I am very much looking forward to Darby Allin versus Sting at All Out. Now, programming note, Saturday, I will be doing the Don Tony show. I am not doing it Friday. We talked about this over the last couple of weeks. Everybody and their mother, which is figure of speech, but everybody and their mothers are doing shows on Fridays now. Now suddenly everybody wants to do watch-alongs. Wrestling Days mastered that. I started doing it. And then I see people who are supposedly my rivals. They all start doing it. I move my show to a certain time. They move their show to a certain time. I don't know if it's just intentional, or maybe they realize that time makes sense. So I lose tons of sleep every week. Kareem Yamount, much love, my friend. Have I ever had dilating pupil eye drops? He's getting them tomorrow and he's scared of it. Yes. When you get eye tests done and they put the drops to numb your eye and they will dilate your pupils, it looks a little funky and it may feel a little weird for a little bit of time, but it's fine after. I am the only person in my family, and you know what? Props to him, change the subject. I think we need to change the subject. Let's talk about wrestling, seriously. Let's talk about wrestling, but with eyes. My mom, my dad, my brother all had laser eye surgery. I have not. And, you know, they've done stuff with the pupils and everything. And, you know, it feels scary because, my God, if they F up, that's your eyesight you're talking about. Now, these ophthalmologists know what they're doing. I think you really don't worry about it. They know what they're doing. Courtney, my thoughts are with you. You know, she got right in the midst of New Orleans with the storm also, and she suffered a lot too. And then this, because she always admired Daphne. Then you have AS 7607 and what happened with her cousin several years ago. And I'm sure there's tons of you out there who have known someone who have gotten, you know, that far down, you know, and it's not good. It's not good. All we could do is just hope that there was an intervention tonight. Hope there was an intervention. Maybe just somebody said something, made her laugh, get her just for that split second. Believe me, that little comment could be the difference maker. That's why, you know, I hate the crap I see online sometimes. Yeah, I agree with you, Tickle My Pickles. See if I can contact the police and do a wellness check. You know, the thing is that apparently, you know, people that are in the business still that know her, they've already sent authorities to her address. So, you know, but the point is, if what I have is different, then maybe this is her current address. If it's the same, you'd think common courtesy, you know, somebody would DM me and be like, yeah, we got that number and we already took care of it. Ignored. That's just blowing me away. Seriously. Man, I would love to read this, but no. It's pretty cool, actually. Get a good laugh out of it. So anyway, so just to wrap up, let's talk about the programming, though. So, you know, I started doing the Don Tony show on Fridays last year. Did it, you know, at 10:05 p.m. And my original thought was do every show, each day of the week, 10:05 p.m. That would be the time slot. And what happens is that even when you do a 2-hour show, you know, you're past midnight. Raw ends at 11, so you're already past 1. By the time I edit and put everything online, it's 2, 3 a.m., and then I can't just fall asleep. So Friday nights is the weekend where I could sleep late and feel a little better. And then everybody and their mother Friday nights wants to do a show now. And Sean, you're reading me what Sean Rossap wrote an hour ago. I'm not going after you. I'm not saying it like that. I appreciate that. But, you know, you're saying her current address. You know, I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. But you know what? I got to say this, too. I got to say, this is not against Sean KB. But Sean KB brings up a good point that he doesn't even realize. This shit happened over an hour ago. How long does it take for the fucking cops to show up at the house? You know what I mean? Someone should have been there a long, long time ago. Let's hope for good news, man. Let's hope for good news. So because I need to get some sleep because I can't get a stroke, even though we're all wrestling fans and we love to hang out and we love to talk and we love to chat, I can't get a stroke over it. I can't get sick over it. So I do need a couple of days where I sleep like a normal human being. So rather than doing a show Friday night, you know, at 10 o'clock, do a watch along, then cover SmackDown, then do this, then do that, and then I'm done at 2 a.m. And then because I'm spending a weekend with my significant other, my fiance, and go see my family, I don't want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So starting this weekend, I'm going to be doing the Don Tony show on Saturdays instead of Fridays. Right now in the community section, I have a poll up there. What time do you want the shows to start on Saturday? And you could choose either all New York time, 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. I think right now 8 p.m. is running away with it. Now, that's not bad because that's a Saturday night, which means I slept like a baby Friday. And Saturday doing 8 o'clock, even if we finish at 10, that's still very early. So this Saturday, I will be doing a show live at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will do AEW predictions for All Out. We will cover any news that breaks between now and Saturday. We'll cover a little bit on SmackDown. We'll maybe take some live calls and maybe do a little week in a review as well. So Saturday, 8 p.m., if you're not doing anything, join me here live. In fact, I think we may even do a contest or two. So check this out. Let's talk a little bit about AEW, but I wanted to share this because AEW mentioned it tonight, but I don't think they mentioned the deadline. AEW and Upper Deck are coming out with trading cards, and they have released a preview of the CM Punk card. This is the card here. It's a preview of the first ever edition of AEW cards. Now, I'm like I said, I'm pretty certain that AEW tonight did not mention that you only have until September 3rd to pre-order this card. So I want, if anyone out there that is interested in getting it, now look, right now, if you buy it, you get the e-card. You get the digital version of the card. But once it's ready to ship, they will ship the card to you as well. Now, if anybody out there has ever been into the digital cards, you could trade digital cards. You could sell digital cards. So I'm going to show you something funny. Check this out. So I got to thank Pat McGrath for clearing this up for me. What you're going to see right now is my account with Upper Deck. And as you can see, I have currently 65 CM Punk cards in my collection. 65. Actually, yeah, it's 65. So why did I buy 65? Couple of reasons. Number one, going to give away some on the shows in the near future. By the way, with contests in the future, on Thursdays, we'll probably announce it in advance, but in the future, we're going to do it by surprise. Because I don't want people to just pop in here just to enter a contest and they don't follow the shows. So out of nowhere, I'll randomly just throw a contest up live. You know, I know that not everybody could tune in live, but hey, you know, if you're tuning into someone else's podcast during one of my shows and I do a live contest, you know, I can't really feel bad for you all that much. I won't leave everybody out who is on that can't tune in live. But we're going to give some away. Plus, now here's the thing. If you want to pre-order the CM Punk card, again, you only have until September 3rd to do so. All right? Now, the card right now costs $5.99. $5.99. You could get it at Upper Deck Pack. The hell? Did you see that? I got like panels coming down. Wow. That was like kind of creepy. Should I do like Mean Gene Okerlund? Fuck it. Wow, that was a little creepy. All right. UpperDeckPack.com. $5.99. Now, it's the actual card is not going to be available for 6 weeks at least. Once the card is available, you can pay to have it shipped. You could also like pay them a quarter and they'll put it in a top loader to protect it and everything. So right now, if you go on eBay, you have people selling this card for $12.99, $17.99, $19.99. There's one guy on eBay who has sold 31 of them at $17.99. All he is doing is buying them on upperdeckpack.com right now and paying $5.99 a piece. Not bad. Pay $6 by going to the website, throw it up on eBay, and triple your money. So if any of you out there that want to pick up this card, go on upperdeckpack.com before the 3rd, by the 3rd. After the 3rd, the pre-order is done. I ordered 65 of them. Some I'm going to give away. I'm going to keep 1 or 2 for myself. And when this does become a big collector's item and people selling it for like 30, 40 bucks a pop, I'm going to have at least 2, 3 dozen left over. I'll make some money off of it. Business. It's business. But, you know, I wanted to right, Russell, okay, this is why I brought it, because in case anybody has questions. Right now, it's an e-card. You buy it now, it says, open your pack. You click the button, and it virtually opens the pack. The card has not been printed yet for shipping. Pat McGrath, I got to give him a shout out. He's the one that cleared this up for me. I thought originally it was just a digital card. I don't need a digital card. I'll just go on Google Images and save the image, and I'll put it to my phone, and look, everybody, I got the card. And I paid nothing. But no, it's an e-card. It's a digital card right now. And then in about 6 weeks, when the card is printed and ready for shipping, then they will ship it to you. And you can have it, you know, included in a top loader. Personally, I hope they come sealed in a pack. I mean, they show packs. If you go on their website, they have it shown as a sealed pack. I want to keep those packs sealed. You know, I want to do that. And I'm pretty sure that's how they're going to be shipped. I don't think they're going to open up my packs and put them in top loaders. They'll probably send you like a little box of top loaders. You can probably get them on Amazon for next to nothing. But, yeah, it's a pretty cool deal. So, look, I personally think, now you're paying $5.99 for one card. But for the first ever CM Punk AEW card, you know, look how crazy people were going for these. The CM Punk ice cream wrappers. And by the way, we did the Rampage predictions contest last week, and Presale won. And tomorrow I'm going to be, well, as long as we don't have floods here, tomorrow I'm going to be shipping out his ice cream wrapper. And I got to shout out my friend John, who went to Rampage for Punk's debut and kept that wrapper, and he's sending me 2 others as well. So, yeah, so if you want to pick up that card, go ahead, pick up. You know, $5.99, I think that's not a bad deal. They're not taking advantage. So, all right, moving on. As far as Dynamite tonight, and yes, I will definitely be talking about this. If you follow my shows, we talked about this a month ago. Should not be a surprise. But I guarantee you that there's going to be some of you out there that, you know, were not aware of this. Everybody who attends AEW Grand Slam in Queens, New York, in the next 3 weeks, you have to show proof that you have at least 1 shot of the COVID vaccine. Do not show them fake stuff. Believe me when I tell you, I mean, if you show fake stuff, you better damn well be convinced that it is perfect and cannot be traceable, because there's some dope. I don't know if you all saw this. Some woman tried to go to Hawaii, like a 24-year-old, and she gave a fake COVID card. And when they wrote Moderna for the vaccine, she spelled it wrong, the dummy. She wrote Maderna. Moderna. So we'll talk about that later. Yeah, I mean, Rojo Bear, I watched the whole episode, but it was crazy the last 30 minutes because of what I talked about earlier. But let's talk briefly about Dynamite. Opening match, FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. Crowd loved it. Crowd was into it. Very, very cool to see FTR as a team back on TV after that horrible injury. You know, it was funny. I remember that night when he was injured, and people online were like, oh, no, he's okay. It wasn't anything. What are you talking about? We were talking about Terry Funk. Not only Sabu Born to Be Wired, but Terry Funk, XPW's first Philly event that I saw up close and personal. I was at the ringside. I was the timekeeper for that match. He's holding his arm, and you could actually see, like, the cartilage and everything. That's exactly what his injury looked like. Don't tell me it was nothing. Look how long he's been out of action. But they had a great match today. FTR, I think, is at the crossroads. I really do. A far cry from Tag Team of the Year, 2020? I mean, forget about the injury for a second. Ever since FTR lost those tag titles to the Young Bucks, other than their feud with Santana Ortiz, I mean, I don't even put them in the top 10 as Tag Team of the Year for 2021. I'm not saying that they're not talented to be in the top 10. They are one of the top 10 most talented tag teams in wrestling, period. But you have to produce. And AEW, man, talk about taking a major step back with these guys. Seriously. You know, look, AEW's got to be careful not to turn into a video game. And what I mean by that is, you know, think of a Major League Baseball team. Think of the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you want to think of the Jaguars. Okay? His family owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, don't they? Okay. You know, they're only allowed, anybody in the chat room, how many football players are you allowed on a team? Was it 40? I don't know. But you're only allowed a certain number of players on the team. Now, obviously in wrestling, there is no set number, but it gets to a point where, you know, if your normal football team has 40, no, but offensive lineman Ruby Soho is out there. But no. Bray, yes, Punk, you know, 2.0, 3.0. Yeah, gets to a point. 53. Okay, 53. You know, imagine if a football team who normally has 53, you got 90 players on that team. Guess what? A lot of people are going to be sitting on the bench. Andrade. Did you hear? Idolo. Oh, my God. Seriously, Andrade, as far as business goes, he is my favorite wrestler. This motherfucker has had, 2 matches since October of last year? Or maybe he fought Alberto El Abuser, you know, not too long ago. This guy, I was thinking about it the other day because I've talked about his stint in AEW. He had 90-day no-compete or 90-day no-compete in WWE. And now he is in AEW for 3 months, 12 weeks. So you think 90 days is 3 months. AEW is 3 months. So in 6 months, between WWE and AEW, he has wrestled 1 match and gotten paid for it. This motherfucker, what do you think he makes? $10,000 a year? He's gotten paid a half of a year's salary wrestling 1 match against Matt Sydal. If you didn't hear what happened, the last bunch of weeks, what was the storyline? Remember? Pac is in the back with Andrade. Where are the Lucha Brothers? Oh, they had travel problems. I gave them a limo. I give them fine wine, food. I gave them deodorant. I take care of them. I want to give you everything. The following week, where's Pac? Oh, he had travel problems. I want to give him a limo. I want to give him, a haircut, deodorant. He looked like he smelled. Travel problems. That's how many skits in the back? Chavo. Andrade wants to give you a limo. Travel problems. The match is off Saturday. Why? Because of travel problems. I kid you not. Travel problems. matches. You can't make that up. So Tony Khan, he's like, oh, no, they'll be on a match on Rampage. Yeah, Pac versus Andrade should be on Rampage. See what's happening? Rampage is turning into what it was not supposed to be. It was supposed to be, not Dynamite Light. Dynamite. That's what we should got. AEW Dynamite. Now you're going to put Pac versus Andrade, the future of wrestling. They're up and coming. Soon they're going to be on Dark. Andrade, Idolo. My God, he made 6 months of pay wrestling 1 4 or 5 minute match. Unbelievable. I want that. Everybody bitches about the Brock Lesnar contracts that WWE was giving him. I mean, I know Andrade is not Brock Lesnar, but for all of the Andrade fans out there, he wrestled once in 6 months. I mean, gotta love him. Seriously. Every time Andrade gets an envelope from AEW with the paycheck, seriously, I wonder, woo! Please. No wonder why everybody's looking for hand jobs on social media, kissing up to Tony. Let me tell you something, man. I don't know. It always feels good to have people gush over you, obviously. After a while, it gets weird and disturbing. The last media scrum that they did with CM Punk and Tony Khan, there was a bunch of websites that were asking questions. And I think Tony Khan had made a remark about some of them, like, yeah, those are big fans, a little too big. Like, I think they know when people are just over the top whack jobs. Case in point, Orange Cassidy versus Jack Evans today. Fruit roll up during a commercial break, picture in picture. Match ends during picture in picture. Now, I tweeted about this. I never said if I liked it or didn't like it. For the record, I liked it. I've said it before. I said, if you're going to do picture in picture, you want people to still watch on the TV. You should do something in picture so people feel like I don't even want to miss the picture in picture. So they did it. But these people online, that if that was WWE Raw or NXT that had Ridge Holland versus Tommaso Ciampa, or even if you want to go a step down, LA Knight versus Johnny Gargano, and the match ended with a fruit roll-up during picture in picture on a commercial break, everybody and their mother would have ripped apart WWE and NXT. You can't even manage TV properly. You can't even budget time. You had the fruit roll-up take place during a commercial break. Tonight, AEW, maybe that's why most of the blue check marks are not responding to me tonight. Because when that happened on AEW, it's like a little puppy dog that just came out of a mother's uterus, if they have uteruses. Oh, how cute. Oh, look good. Gee, I don't even want to get up to buy a sandwich on a commercial break. That's so cute. And like a little puppy dog. Oh, you did a picture-in-picture match change. Sorry, for 99.9% of you out there, Tony Khan is not giving you a job. He ain't even giving you a hand job. There's a couple of other jobs I could say as well, but I'm trying to be a little bit more clean on these shows for various reasons. People out there overly gushing on it. I don't know. I think some people think that they're going to land a little job. Or maybe Tony Khan will say, hey, look, could you conduct this interview? Here's $5,000. We're rich, so it's not going to be a big deal. Just shh, don't tell anybody. These people think they're actually going to get work. I truthfully believe, you know how you get a job? Hard work and being honest. Believe me when I tell you, if I have help wanted and someone just gushes, maybe Vince McMahon, the yes men that he used to have over the years, maybe he enjoyed that. I have someone that just, amazing, epic, unbelievable show, DT. DT, that was incredible. DT, if I died tomorrow, I die a happy person. That was just an awesome show. It was just so epic, unbelievably awesome. Christian coming back was great memory, historic, feel-good moment. Always loved Christian in his career. So happy for that guy. 7 years got taken away from him. Comes to WWE, shines in the Royal Rumble, and WWE says, nah, we're not looking to push you. Imagine having that mental, strength that for 7 years you had to deal with. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I know I could come back. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. I'm working hard. I'm coming back. I'm preparing myself. I did it. I did it. No, we don't need you. Christian's comeback is fucking awesome. But when people are saying that this is the most incredible moment I've seen as a wrestling fan, that this is epic, amazing, nothing could ever beat this, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes that falls into either, if you're a new wrestling fan, that's different. But for the people out there that, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, only because I was watching one of his videos earlier today. Any of you out there on YouTube ever see that guy, Steve, 1989, that eats all of like the old military food from like the 40s, the 50s, the 70s? He's eating crackers from 1875 and stuff like that. And he eats current stuff too. If anybody out there has ever seen his channel, if you watch it for maybe 2 days, after maybe 2 or 3 hours, you'll realize that everything that he eats, this is the most incredible meal I've ever had. This is the most amazing meal I've ever had. This is the most unbelievable. This is the best thing I've ever had. Everything. If you replace meal with AEW, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to bash something over my head today. No, thank you. I was going to break something over my head. But, no, not everything is amazing, unbelievable, epic. But my God, this double standard. If you're going to cover, look, if you're a huge AEW fan, you think WWE sucks, that's fine. That's fine. I totally respect if you feel that way. When people claim to not, take sides and they want to be a straight up down the middle, and then when WWE does it, it's awful, horrendous. People should have been fired. You have the fruit roll-up happen in a commercial picture. But when AEW does it, oh, look how cute. Oh, look how nice. Oh, they should have done this a long time. That just shows you that I can't even go up to get a beverage, that anything can happen during a commercial break. That is genius. People use the fucking word tonight, genius. Think I'm lying? Just go on Twitter and just type in genius AEW and use today's date as the search. Look at all the blue check marks. They called him a genius. Sorry, Tony Khan is still not giving you a job, a hand job, a blow job, and other types of things for 99.9% of you out there. God, please. Then just, I don't want to talk about it. I did something for somebody online, that AEW botches account. I felt bad for the guy. I know a lot of you know what's going on. I'll say it. Over the years, because I've been on the internet since the 90s, early 90s, before Prodigy chats even existed. And I've seen over the years a lot of people claim that they had things happen to them online to either get sympathy, to feel important, to divert attention. Sometimes people act like absolute assholes, and then they will claim victim so people don't think they're an asshole anymore. So I've actually, I've seen people get caught in a lot of lies over the years. And I've also seen over the years people who were podcasters, bloggers, journalists before podcasts even existed, and they would claim that people online were sending death threats to their family. And they went on Twitter instead of the police. Somebody contacts my mother right now and threatens to injure her because of the way I talk on the shows. I go right to the fucking cops and I pay whatever is necessary to get that son of a bitch in jail. And then I bail them out, or I have someone else bail them out. And when they're walking to their Uber to get in the car to go back to mommy's basement, I have somebody break their fucking legs. Then I go to jail and hopefully somebody bails me out. Twitter does nothing for mommy. Twitter does nothing for daddy, for wife, son, daughter, significant other. Nothing. So, I see this AEW botches account. And, he gets a lot of hate for posting botches. I've called him out before. I said, it's fucked up. AEW Dark, these are up-and-coming talents. Yes, they're performing in front of a live crowd, but they haven't honed their skills yet. Everybody fucks up growing up in wrestling. OVW, if you saw some of the videos of early Brock Lesnar and Leviathan and others, there would be botches posted everywhere. But we didn't see it because it wasn't national TV. It was no YouTube for the most part at that time. So I didn't like this account either. But I noticed that whenever he really started to get heat, he would post a tweet like, I woke up to this Twitter DM, somebody threatening to dox my information. And what do you get? You get hundreds of people saying, oh, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Crazy people out there. Now, there's always a good chance that it's true. So you don't take it for granted. This time around, last week, he said that somebody emailed him a picture of his young son and his wife. And they threatened him to post all their stuff public if he keeps posting botch videos. Now, my first reaction is, you ran to Twitter instead of calling the authorities. Okay? So I went and I filed an IC3 complaint for him. And since I had to file 2 reports over the years for myself and they were successful, I did the same thing for him. I put all my information. I gave them his Twitter account and I gave them a little bit more info and screenshot and other things. And that's a serious crime online. Even Stephen P. New, I know a lot of you know who that is. Even that person said, go to the fucking police. File complaints. So I filed it and I screenshotted it. And what I wrote online was simple. If someone did that to him, that person will be in a lot of trouble. But if it didn't happen, that account holder will be in a lot of trouble. And I don't ask for thank yous, but do you know, number one, this guy hasn't posted anything since that report was filed. And yes, Mish brought out a good point yesterday that, maybe they told him, stay off of that. We got to pull your information, but not even a thank you. Not even a thank you from a private email or something like that. My email's everywhere. It's right on my social media account. Don't drop me an email like, hey, I didn't ask you to do that, but I appreciate what you did. This really, really shook me and this and that. Nothing. Not even a thank you. So, I don't know what to believe. In a way, I hope to God he was lying. I hope he was lying. Because then that means there isn't a sicko out there trying to show him pictures of his young kid and wife. But like I say, you see some of the things going on when you're online for 20 years and you see some of the crap that you see, it's very disturbing what some people do, how triggered some people get. So anyway, so we talked about the fruit roll up by Orange Cassidy. It was pretty sad also. After the match was over with Jack Evans and Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy obviously wants a little revenge after getting his nose broken last week. So Matt Hardy hits the ring. Private Party hits the ring. TH2 hits the ring. So, here comes Willa Utah. And here comes, the other fuck that I can't stand. Nothing personal, but they're still outnumbered. So it was funny if you go back and watch it. So Jungle Boy's music hits. And the crowd pops. It was cool. But it was so funny because the first person to hit the ring was Marco Stunt, and they ran out of Dodge. Matt Hardy's entire clan group ran out of Dodge. Marco Stunt hit the ring first, then Jungle Boy, and then Luchasaurus, Latosaurus, showed it. It was funny when you go back and watch it. let me tell you something else. I don't know if you find it funny. Maybe because the segment was so awesome, we could look past it. CM Punk. CM Punk comes out there for an interview, and he's talking about All Out. Now, before that, there was a promo by Daniel Garcia and 2.0, and I don't have the picture in front of me. You go back and you look at it, nothing against Daniel Garcia, but he needs to understand that when you're wearing a sweatsuit on primetime television and you look like you're in sixth grade, go back and look at it. His body looked like the size of a sixth grader. And he's posting these threats to Darby Allin a fight. Now we know what's going to happen. Darby Allin's going to squash him like a grape in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Maybe they'll drag the match out longer. 2.0 is going to try to get involved. CM Punk will make the save. And there'll be another stare down, and that's what they'll do Friday. But nothing against Daniel Garcia. But they put him on TV every single week. Like Daniel Garcia is this like unbelievable, amazing, epic, young superstar that everybody has been like what Miss Elizabeth was with all the managers in 1985. You look, my little nephew that just had confirmation. Look at him wearing a sweatsuit. Seriously. Didn't look intimidating at all. He looked like he was working at McDonald's after school. So CM Punk comes out, and I'm bringing up a point. CM Punk comes out there, cuts a promo, fabulous, loved it. So he gets attacked by Daniel Garcia in 2.0. And I did a Twitter search to make sure nobody wrote it. Not one person. Nobody wrote it. I went back and I watched the segment, and I put it in super, 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 super slow-mo. CM Punk was kicked and punched by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia 73 times. They connected 73 times. Just for CM Punk to do like a rapid Undertaker 2.0. Undertaker would get up slow. He got hit 73 times. And because Sting and Darby Allin ran out to make the save, he just pops up like nothing and starts brawling with Daniel Garcia. 73 times. Think I'm wrong? Go count it. Yes. I had what I thought was going to be a really fun night tonight. I was prepping stuff. A little annoyed by some of the over-the-top stuff. People do respect you if you're brutally honest. One of the most awesome things that I ever got was those kind words that Karrion Kross gave yours truly, and even for my former co-host back in the day. I don't know if I have the video handy. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but that video, it's not because, he's a WWE superstar now, and I'm not sticking up for him at the mask because of that or anything like that. I told you, I'm more concerned about Karrion Kross getting dominant wins than him wearing a fucking mask for 15 seconds and then he takes it off. He doesn't wrestle during the match like Farouk Assad, as everybody was comparing it to. I don't have it handy. I know some people like. I'll end up finding it too, but no, another time. You can be honest and criticize something. People aren't going to block you forever or banish you because you just had an issue with something. 73 punches and kicks just to pop up. After Darby Allin left the ring and after Sting made his speech, and by the way, Sting, the notes that I took, he said, I got to admit, I always wanted to share a ring with you. Mucho respect that he gave CM Punk. And he said our paths never crossed, but Sting did tease that they could have a match down the line. That would be interesting. I'm not complaining. I don't know if that'll really happen, but hey, you never know. Anyway, Sting says that for Sunday, he thinks that Darby Allin is ready, and he's not going to be at ringside. Darby's going to go at Sting. Go at CM Punk one-on-one. And, I'm fine with that. But Sting cuts his promo, leaves the ring. Darby Allin leaves the ring. And right before we go to commercial break, for the first time, we see CM Punk go like this. 73 punches and kicks that connected. And they were all no-sold. But again, since this segment was so awesome, not a big deal. Let it slide. But we had some horrible stuff coming up. By the way, I don't know if anybody picked up on this tonight. Are you confused as I am about Jericho's future if he loses? Tony Schiavone early tonight said that Chris Jericho's AEW wrestling career would be over, and then he corrected himself. He said his entire wrestling career would be over if he loses to MJF. Jim Ross immediately responds after Tony Schiavone, and Jim Ross says his AEW wrestling career. Towards the end of the show, when they're hyping up the matches for Sunday, they then say Chris Jericho's wrestling career is over. They flip-flopped on it twice tonight. AEW, which is it? AEW wrestling career or entire wrestling career? Personally, it's got to be his AEW wrestling career, because Jericho is not a stupid man. Jericho's not going to do a stipulation and claim that he's going to retire permanently. If he still wants to have more matches down the line, Jericho's not going to be AEW for life. So, man, they sent some mixed messages tonight with that. Eddie Kingston and Mirdo's promo. Shout out to BC Reviews 51. That's very kind of you, my friend. He'd like to send me a dozen Jerry Lawler autographs to give away rather than a large donation. Absolutely. I think some people here would love a Jerry Lawler autograph photo. I'll tell you this much. If everything ends up okay with Daphne, I have a stack of autograph photos like this inside. For those that don't know, when she left WCW went out of business. She was trying to sell autograph photos of herself. And if you've ever seen, well, I don't want to take the photo out now, but, when I became friends with her, just to show you how things do end up years later, check this out. I know a lot of you out there know that I'm getting married September 3rd of next year. So the venue, this has to do with Daphne too. The venue that I am going to have it at, they recommend certain florist, photographer, DJ, things like that. So they give me a phone number for photographer. I get an email about a week ago from a photographer like, hey, congratulations on your engagement. We would love to do the photography, blah, 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 blah. Give me a call. Ask for Ali. Now, he's from my neighborhood, and I'm like, Ali. Wow, why does that name sound so fucking familiar? So I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking. And I was like, motherfucker. I dropped him an email last week, and I said, is this the same Ali that did all my wrestling photographs in the 2000s, early 2000s? And he responds back. He says, yes, it's the same Ali. And I was like, no shit. I said, this is Anthony DeBlasi. I said, you remember you did all the promo photos for a friend of mine, Daphne. You did my photos. And he's like, yeah, I remember. So he is actually going to be the photographer for my wedding. But just to show you how weird, things end up coming together sometimes. But she needed someone to do promo photos. She had nobody that would print them. So luckily, this guy, Ali, 20 years ago, had a photography place right next door from my office. So I became friendly with him, and he did all the promo photos for free. Gave her hundreds of photos for free. The one, if you've ever seen her, it looks like she's lifting up like cars from a junkyard. The black and white portrait of her. I was the one that did all those photos, but he was the one that did it. And now he's going to be my photographer for my wedding. Just how crazy things end up. But yeah, no, the Jerry Lawler photos would be great. Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you. So getting back to the show. Oh yeah, BC Review said that Jerry Lawler sent him 50 autographs before he lost touch with him before the pandemic. Jerry Lawler sending you 50 autograph photos? Who are you? I'm kind of jealous. I'm being serious too. It's very kind of you. Absolutely. And I know some people out there would absolutely love that. I might even keep one for myself. For real. I found some awesome stuff the other day. I got it. Tomorrow I'll show you some photos I have. Some original photos that were taken at like some ECW events backstage, not in the arena, backstage. You look at these photos, you'll be like, how the fuck did you get these? So Jericho cuts the promo with Jim Ross, and Jericho talking about why he chose this stipulation. And he talked about MJF being a piece of shit. He's diabolical. And he said that those 3 victories that he has over Jericho, Jericho can't get past there. He doesn't want to look in the mirror and live with the fact that he lost to MJF 4 times and he can't beat MJF. So that's why he's putting his AEW career on the line. I mean, let's be honest. The fact that they keep going back and forth with this is they don't want to make it clear, because you say to yourself, if they just say wrestling career, it almost feels like there's no way that Jericho's going to abruptly retire like this. If you say AEW career, then you almost feel like, yeah, I could see him, taking a break. Fozzy is touring this weekend. Fozzy, I put it in the preview of today's show. Look on the right. Fozzy, we were joking about this yesterday on Patreon. Jericho's doing 2 concerts, September 3rd in Joliet and September 4th in Belvedere at the Apollo Theater. The day before the pay-per-view, he's doing a concert. This guy is amazing. And I know I hate using the word amazing, but I'm saying the physical toll that takes to perform like that. And then he's going to wrestle on top of it. I hope the match doesn't suck. That's all I have to say. But I think that's why they're being a little bit cloudy with that. Saturday, I'll do my predictions and I'll tell you exactly how I feel. Right now I'm a little bit undecided. All right, I'm checking my DMs. Oh, BC Reviews. Still, just to talk about what I was talking about before. Hold on. Yeah, Mick Foley said that his phone call went straight to voicemail as well. I have a feeling that it's the same number. It's the same number. But I tell you, I'm a little bit annoyed still. Just to show you. Now, again, I said that I have her phone number and address. Do you know, as of right now, no comments, 4 likes, 2 retweets. That's how much people gave a shit about, not me, but just someone who has a phone number and an address, and not even like, a little DM, like, yeah, that matches what I have. We already, nothing. That's why it's very hard to give a shit about others out there. Seriously. I mean, I laugh when I see people telling me, oh, bring this person back on your shows, or you should do this, or you should collaborate with this person. I'm like, man, everybody just like stabs people in the back, ignores them, does not give anybody any, praise unless it's for their own. and people want me to do business with all these people. I mean, that shit tonight, that does, like I said, I'm not looking for any praise or accolades, but, you know, I run in the fucking pouring rain into a garage and I'm throwing papers around, desperately trying to find phone numbers and addresses. And then I find, and like I said, I brought it in here just so people could see I'm not lying. I put it in here and I race and I'm like, the person who everybody's going to the most, I'm like, hey, look, I got this. I have a bunch of stuff here. Not even, dude, thank you. But, you know, that's what we have. Nothing. Instead, let's tweet about the cage. What do I think Pete Dunne is doing right now? I think Pete Dunne is sleeping. It's late at night. He's tired. They get their beauty rest. They don't do podcasts until 1 a.m. MJF does a sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone, and I'll tell you the truth. You know, sometimes they should just let these guys cut promos in the back. Nothing against Tony Schiavone. I have sung the praise for Schiavone since day one of AEW Dynamite started. But Schiavone asks like one question, and then MJF just takes over. It's not a back and forth interview where the person asks like 5, 6, 7 questions. What do you think about Sunday? And that's it. It's like a potted plant could have done the same thing. They should have just said, MJF has these comments about Chris Jericho. Just leave the camera on MJF. No reason for a sit-down interview when the host only asks one question. And that happens a lot in AEW. So I think a lot of people expected me to say the asleep thing. I do think Pete Dunne will take on Samoa Joe to be serious, cruiserweight. I think he will take on Samoa Joe. That was the match that I said the night that Joe beat Cross for the title, the first title defense. I wanted to see Joe versus Dunne, and I think it could happen. So MJF talking about Jericho. And I'll tell you, I'm an older guy, obviously, and Muhammad Ali was definitely past, you know, before my time. Not past, before my time. But I do remember as a very, 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 very young child, entering my preteen years, where Ali tried to still go in the late 70s, early, I think like 80, 81. I don't know if maybe it was a little earlier than that. But I remember Ali, I watched it years later because Howard Cosell is one of my favorite broadcasters of all time. Loved Howard Cosell. Very controversial, but I also loved his relationship with Muhammad Ali. And I got to watch a lot of Muhammad Ali years later. And a lot of you out there absolutely beloved Muhammad Ali, loved him. But when he was at the tail end of his career, it was sad. It was sad. Someone who was just this much higher than everybody else and seeing him just not being able to do it. No matter how much he tried, you know, it just didn't look good. And MJF saying that about Jericho, you know, for anybody that watched Ali in real time, you know, at the very end of his career, that's a pretty powerful comparison that MJF used. It's going to be interesting to see what goes down Sunday. I'll give you my prediction Saturday, but I tell you, you know, they've gone way beyond, you know, that infamous photo from the Stadium Stampede that we all talked about with MJF and Jericho. You know the one I'm talking about. They have really made this a very strong feud. And I hope it ends Sunday. And the thing is that, you know, you try to be one step ahead and you say to yourself, okay, if Jericho wins, all right, that means Jericho can still wrestle. But then does it ever end with MJF? Why would suddenly MJF not give a shit anymore? Why would MJF not want to just fuck with Jericho anymore? It's not going to look right on TV unless there's some major swerve somewhere. Somebody just turns on someone. So that's why, I'm going to hold off with my prediction. Let it sink in a little bit. Maybe Friday's Rampage changes my mind a little bit, but I don't think so because I don't expect anything to be added to what we saw tonight with Jericho and MJF. I mean, the two promos they cut tonight was perfect. Do not need to do anything else. They sold me on the match. Leave it alone. Darby Allin with a promo. When CM Punk said if he was 15 years old, Darby Allin would be his favorite. Well, Darby Allin says that CM Punk was his favorite when he was 15. That match is going to be good. The fans chanting, "You still got it," to CM Punk earlier. Look, you're in Chicago, and the fans adore CM Punk. The pop he got at Rampage is one of the loudest I've ever heard as a wrestling fan. It was awesome. Everybody that was there, it is such a special memory that it'll last a lifetime as a wrestling fan. So I could look past the "You still got it" chants, but let's also be honest. They chanted "You still got it" and haven't seen CM Punk wrestle in 7 years. If you even want to cross hairs here, when CM Punk hit the GTS to Daniel Garcia earlier, I called it the GTS, to go to shoulder. Not to go to sleep, to go to shoulder. Because CM Punk nailed him in the shoulder. But I'm a wrestling fan. Not everything's going to be perfect. So you could mention it, but you could get past it. I can only imagine how many people tonight ripped Jim Ross online. He called Paul White the Big Show. Yeah, he did. So Powerhouse Hobbs versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage needs to get out of that company. I've been saying it for a couple of months now. There's no way that Brian Cage is going to break through all these other guys that are the focal point of AEW. He's not going to overtake Kenny Omega. He's not going to overtake CM Punk. He's not going to overtake the Young Bucks. He's not going to overtake quite a few people in that company. You're not going to make him overtake Miro. Not going to overtake Darby Allin. Not going to overtake Sammy Guevara. You're not going to overtake MJF. I mean, the one thing that when people say to me to this day, what's the one biggest pet peeve you have about AEW? Other than the referee stuff, it's the way the bigger guys are used. They are just used horribly. Horribly. Lance Archer, yeah, he did some work for New Japan afterwards. But look what Lance Archer has done on AEW since Moxley, the match. A little bit of back and forth with a non-wrestler playing Jim Cornette. Last week, we get that little bit of interaction with Dan Lambert. And it just goes away for 2-3 weeks at a time. One impressive moment during this match tonight, Brian Cage goes for a suplex on Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs is standing on the apron outside the ring, and Brian Cage, even if Hobbs pushes up, Cage lifts him over the ropes and suplexes him back in the ring. That is impressive. But Hobbs throws Cage across the ring with green hook on the opposite side. So the ref is distracted. And this time, when Powerhouse Hobbs whips Cage into the ropes, for some reason, Cage decides to stick his head in the middle rope just so Ricky Starks could crack him over the head with a belt. It just looked awful on TV. Hobbs gets the win, and Brian Cage needs to get the fuck out of AEW. That guy, people used to get pissed off when he lost to Tessa Blanchard. Look at what they've done to Brian Cage. It's just, in my opinion, he's getting paid comfortably, but it is fucking awful. Brandio, I think, is just giving me a little haze. I don't think he is truly a troll. Brandio doesn't want to get shadow banned. I hate shadow banning people. I used to like it. There's a few people shadow banned. You got to see it, everyone. They leave comments still, like on every show. And they still don't realize that nobody could see them except for themselves. That's pretty funny. But Brandio, don't test me. You know, I could tolerate being called a nerd, but super nerd. I wonder if he knows why I say that. Another horrendous segment. Actually, before I even talk about that, let's talk about a good one. Shit, man. Malachi Black, he cut in his promo that he wanted to give Lee Johnson 7 days to atone for his sins. And obviously, Lee Johnson did not. So on Friday, Malachi Black is going to beat the shit out of Lee Johnson. Okay. All right. I mean, Malachi Black is awesome. But I know he hasn't been in AEW that long. But man, talk about, this is what I was saying earlier about, having a video game roster. It's nice when you collect every creator wrestler and you got 100 wrestlers in your gallery, but you can only play with a certain number at a time. And Malachi Black, you know what I noticed about AEW? I think a lot of you notice here. Other than Sting, it's weird that I say that. Sting showed up every week, even though he didn't wrestle. But if you watch week after week after week, every person that they have signed, they don't wrestle every week. And in almost all the cases, they don't even wrestle every 2 weeks. You look at Malachi Black, who is already in there for, it's got to be what, 2 months, 6-7 weeks. And he's had a 2-minute squash with Cody, a 2-minute squash or a minute squash with Brock, and now Lee Johnson. And I'm like, man, if I had that guy for 7 weeks, that guy would be one of the focal points of what's on TV. And it almost feels like, okay, just when the fans are about to turn the TV off, oh, we'll give him a little Malachi Black, even though he's not doing much, but it's enough that you don't change the channel. Just when the people are going to change the channel, oh, we can give him a little bit of Moxley. They advertised Moxley's going to be in his hometown next week. Oh, good. They don't even announce what his match is going to be. So that's what it feels like. Okay, I have all the toys. Now what? Doesn't it feel that way? Doesn't it feel that way? The Factory calls out Paul White. And man, who that actually thinks, I'm telling you, this guy definitely thinks that when the fans are chanting, you suck, this guy walks to the back and actually thinks to himself, I am over as a monster heel. I truthfully believe that if it was up to the fans, they do not want that group in that ring. Look at Aaron Solo today. Jump off the top rope, and I guess Paul White was supposed to punch him in the head. Some of these people are just awful. Awful. The fans are not interested. We had some fun last Thursday. If you look at the pay-per-view poster of Paul White versus QT Marshall, it's the same pose and almost the same background of John Cena versus The Rock from WrestleMania. When they're like this, and they're like this, go look at it. I don't have it in front of me. So, Paul White, they call him out there. Paul White hits the ring. Paul White somehow is outnumbered by the Factory, but Paul White gets the upper hand somehow. And he's in the ring and he's beating people up one by one. Then the Gun Club shows up to make the save. And Billy Gunn's got a chair in his hand, and Billy Gunn whacks Paul White in the back and turns heel. And, Excalibur, go back and watch it. Billy Gunn's son did nothing. He just stood there. All right. He just stood there. And Excalibur's like, and his scumbag son is just standing there watching this happen. Man, he got really upset at Colton Gunn for doing nothing. I mean, what is he supposed to do? Dad, stop. Dad. Oh, man, it was just awful. And, this is who writes the show with Tony Khan and others. Hey, Billy Gunn, you have your turn on Paul White. You're going to kind of help me, but not help me? Awful, man. Absolutely awful. Awful. I love Billy Gunn, man. That guy is, for his age, to be in that condition, that guy is he is incredible. I mean, God bless him to still be, and not only that, he helps a lot of people behind the scenes, more than you could ever imagine. But where does this go? Now what? The factory's going to come out with 8 people now instead of 5? Remember when I said last week, you keep signing these people, we're going to have factions that are like the size of like blocks. It's not even a group anymore. It's like a neighborhood, the factory. Yeah, Billy Gunn loves the gym, loves working out. I can't help but to think of that scandal that time with that woman. Remember that scandal? That was wild, man. That's many years ago, but that's wild. I'm going on Twitter for a second. Okay, another message coming. Okay. Shout out to Mike. Not going to say his last name. He's not a follower of mine, but he saw my tweet. And he said that the phone number I have is correct. And somebody has reached out to her. What that means, I don't know. I'm looking to see if there's anything latest. I don't understand why people still, like literally now saying, I hope someone gets to her. This is 2 hours already. I mean, from what I remember, she doesn't live in the woods. We got like hike mountains and stuff to get. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it. We still have no update. No update. But I thank that person for reaching out to me. Like I said, I'm not asking for any acknowledgement, but, that's classy. That's respectful. I put the information out there, and when people just ignore it, when you're really concerned like that, to me, that's just like the ultimate disrespect. That's one thing about me. I think a lot of people know that, you give me respect, I give it back. I may be an asshole at times and I may, troll a little bit, but, I, especially when you're talking about offering information, someone threatening to take their life, you can't even respect someone enough to just common sense send a little DM, other than this guy, Mike, who I don't even know who he is. And, blue check mark, I'll just say that. And he follows a few of the bigger names. And out of everybody, like nobody's like, listen, thank you. We got it already. It's all good. We're on time. Nothing. That says a lot, man. So no update. I think everything will be okay. I think so. I think there are people that do live close to her. Obviously, by now, someone has been in her residence. She was home. You could tell by the video. I didn't watch the video. I just saw the screenshot. That's enough for me. I will tell you this. We find out she's okay, but she's not okay, if you know what I mean. I am definitely going to reach out to her again, and hopefully I'll be able to get in touch with her. And, she's got a lot of people that absolutely love and care for her. But like I said, not to shift gears, but I think this is probably the most important thing you got to realize. When you're going through pain and you're going through depression, getting older, losing friends, not being able to do the things that you love to do your entire life, losing loved ones, as much, and let's be honest, as much as all of us could offer our thoughts, prayers, support, tweet how much we care about the person, love them, concerned about them, that doesn't bring a loved one back. That doesn't numb the pain, physical pain. That doesn't take away the years. You think I like being in the age that I'm at right now? You know, I see what's going on with my family, and I know I'm trying to prepare myself the best I can. You know, when I get phone calls late at night, once in a while, Mish calls me up. Once in a while, my fiance calls me up. I can't sleep. But I can't tell you, I swear on my family, we'll go right back now. I'll say one thing now. I can't tell you how many times, every time that phone rings after like 11 o'clock at night, I start getting chills and I start shaking because I fear picking up that phone to see who it is, and it's my parents' house. Every time my phone rings late at night, that happens. Mish sent me a DM like 2 weeks ago late at night, and I fucking freaked out because that's my immediate reaction. She needs the support. She needs the support because it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a really rough battle. But what Daphne's got to understand is a world with her in it is better than a world without her in it. And there's a lot of people that can help her who she has helped over the years. Just because you help this person doesn't mean that someone else can't help you back. You know, I hope to God she's okay. So, getting back to the show. Britt Baker, they teased that AEW has a big free agent signing, and she says it's her. I was not aware of her contract being up, but this is Britt Baker acting like a heel. And again, I make this clear. I have no problem with Britt Baker being a tweener. No problem with it. The problem is fans in droves don't know how to react to her opponents. Are we supposed to cheer Chris Statlander? Or are we supposed to boo her? Chris Statlander's a babyface. Does it feel like she's a babyface right now? She's going to get booed out of Chicago on Sunday. Even if Britt Baker goes on the mic during like a video package and just tells the live crowd, I hate all of you. If it was up to me right now, I'd yank all your teeth out and then watch you eat the CM Punk ice cream bar without teeth. You ever watch someone without teeth eat ice cream? It's pretty funny. So, I don't know what the fuck that was all about, but if you looked at it closely, I think they're starting to split between Britt Baker and Reba, not Rebel, Reba, whatever. Rebel, Reba, Rebel, Reba, Ribbit. Because Britt Baker said that both Rebel and Jamie Hayter are going to be in the Battle Royal. By the way, since Andrade and Pac are no longer happening due to travel issues, the Women's Casino Battle Royale will be part of the pay-per-view. The buy-in now is Matt Hardy, TH2, and Private Party, 5 of them, versus Orange Cassidy, Wheeler Yuta, the other best friend I don't give a shit about, and Jurassic Express. 5-on-5. That will be the buy-in match. So, I'm just kidding around. So, Britt Baker says that Jamie Hayter and Reba, will be in the Battle Royal. And she's basically playing off like, if Jamie Hayter wins, you know, she ain't going to turn on me. You know, it's all about me, you know, and it's going to keep about in the family, blah, 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 blah. But she focused only on Jamie Hayter if Jamie Hayter wins. So you could see throwing a little shade to Reba, Rebel, Ribbit. I don't know if anybody picked up on that, but they're going to start building that up. I know it's Chuck Taylor. I just don't. To me, he looks like he wants to be AJ Styles for Halloween. Seriously. I honestly don't know anybody in wrestling that has a haircut like this. Seriously. Am I kidding? Look, everybody. I'm Chuck Taylor. Be my best friend, please. That's his haircut. He's talking about video games and mama. Seriously, he looks like disheveled AJ Styles. I don't have anything against him personally. JF says, this guy, Don Tony, no good. No good. Nothing personal against the guy. Chuck Taylor's not a bad wrestler. Jesus Christ, I did a contest here. Who am I contest? And it was Chuck Taylor. So, and somebody got it right. So they do care about Chuck Taylor to a certain extent. So, we get the tease that Rampage's going to be Daniel Garcia, the sixth grader, versus Darby Allin. Malachi Black versus Lee Johnson. CM Punk and Miro will be there live, because a lot of people Friday thought CM Punk was going to be there, and he was. It was just a replay of the promo from Dynamite. We also had Thunder Rosa backstage interview. She's interrupted by Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill, and they end up with a little bit of a brawl. Then Nyla Rose and Jade Cargill are staring at each other a little bit, little tense moment. Because it's going to be in a battle royal, so they want to tease a little bit of friction. I'm looking. By the way, I got to say something about Ruby Soho in a minute. So then we get the main event, and here's where, like I said, everything just really, my head was in a fog because of the Daphne stuff. But, the Elite beat Jurassic Express and the Lucha Brothers. And after the match is over, a little bit of a beatdown. Kenny Omega is sporting black hair now, which it did look funny. Don Callis is awesome on the mic. Freaking love Don Callis. I mean, we talked about it Monday for a brief moment. Impact Wrestling's rating was like 92,000 viewers. It is just, the last time their rating was that bad, I think, was July 1st. And the main event that night was Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. Remember what I told you. Before AEW invaded Impact, Kenny Omega ended up becoming their champion. Impact was doing about 140, 150. I think I even had showed everyone that when Tessa Blanchard was in that company, when she had the title and shortly thereafter, they were averaging 150 to 160,000 viewers. Their viewership is almost cut in half now. And to me, that just shows you. Impact Wrestling, man, I will tell you, their message that they have sent to that roster is that nobody contracted to them is strong enough to carry their championship. It's been Kenny Omega and Christian. Neither one of them are contractually obligated to Impact Wrestling. That says a lot. How does Impact stay in business? They first of all, on eBay, they sell everything, man. Somebody gets put, look at Sami Callihan on eBay on the Impact thing. They took a table that he went through, I think with Omega, and they cut that table into like 188 pieces. And Sami Callihan autographs each one, and they sell each piece for like $30, $40. Every knockout wears a shirt, takes a picture wearing a shirt, takes the shirt off. They sell the shirt, they sell the picture, they sell, the shirt and the picture. They get a lot of revenue through there. They're getting a little bit of YouTube revenue now. They do sell tickets, but they have a lot of making up to do because of COVID. I want Impact to succeed. I really do. And I totally understand they needed to do this fourth wall, forbidden wall, whatever it is. But, Melina shows up, didn't generate ratings. Mickey James is going to show up, didn't generate ratings. And by the way, can I make this one quick comment about NWA Empower? I'm going to be very respectful about this. The women busted their ass. Layla Hirsch showed everybody that if AEW allowed her to work 10 minutes, Layla Hirsch would have the time and not have to rush everything, because that's something you got to realize. And when you know that you have 10, 12, 14 minutes to have a match, you can relax, take your time, set something up, build something up, get the crowd, going. When you could only do it for 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 at the most, you have to just throw things out there as quickly as you can. And if you're not working with someone that you normally work with, you don't have much time, things get out of sync very, very quickly. Layla Hirsch proved on NWA Empower that she is legit. When she wrestles in AEW, they treat her like shit. I hate to say it that way. They give her virtually no time. No time. And then when they put her on AEW Dark, she might get an extra minute or two against someone who's not ready for prime time. See what happens when you put Layla Hirsch with Camille? Magic is made. You put her up against Camilio, that's only a year and a half in the business on Dark. Magic turns into tragic. So anyway, all I'm going to say about Empower is this. I saw the tweets by Ronda Rousey and everyone else, and the support for all the women that were there was awesome. I think back to Shimmer. I think back to Women Superstars Uncensored. I went to their first show, I think it was March of 2007. And by the way, that night the main event was Talia Madison versus Daphne. And then we all hung out at like a TGI Friday after. And that was really cool because at that time, I think, well, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about other people's relationships, but my point is, women having a streaming pay-per-view on Fight, to me, is no different if Wrestling Superstars Uncensored or Unlimited did a pay-per-view streaming on Fight, or if Shimmer did a streaming pay-per-view on Fight. My point is that the women who were there busted their ass. Sean's view, and maybe that's Answer Entertainment. Welcome to the family, my friend. The women that were there busted their ass, and it was a great show. They put on a great performance. Awesome Kong, Mish and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. We think that, when she gets the Hall of Fame from Impact Wrestling, that's when the fans will be able to really, truly pay tribute. I mean, right now, I keep hearing from people privately that Awesome Kong didn't want much attention to her, but she wanted to take that moment with Gail Kim, and that's what they did. What I will say is this. Look at all the big names who were not there. That is powerful. Now, we talked about, I don't expect some women like Trish and others who are, still very, committed to WWE when needed. Of course, that wasn't going to happen. But you look at all of the other women over the years, didn't have to work. They could have showed up just in support. I said it last week. They should have had a section of just women from yesteryear. Just a section of the crowd sitting together, and it would be awesome to see them all taking in. How many times do we watch NXT or AEW, and then you get like a Hall of Famer sitting front row? Hey, so-and-so is in the building. And they put the camera on him, and everybody cheers. Look at all of the names that were not there. And I'm not saying that we told you so, but that was our concern from day one. Two things, and I talked about this 2 weeks ago. I watched so many women who have some decent resumes, who have wrestled in wrestling 3, 5, 7, 10 years, who nobody knows about. And they were all hashtagging Mickey James. And if you think I'm lying, go do an advanced Twitter search for the last month and just type in Empower Mickey James. Look at all the women that show up. And like, I would love the opportunity to be there. I would love this. I would love this. I would love this. 95% of them were ignored. And it was cool to see Impact there. It was cool to see some women from AEW there. It was cool to see some people on the indies. It was cool to see some names that we don't normally see. But where's it go from here? It was an excellent event for women's wrestling to showcase what the current women can do. And they can do a lot. But I just Mish went through a list yesterday of like 25 women. I'm not going to throw it out here now because it's incomplete. I don't have it in front of me. But when you start actually thinking of all the names that were not there, that could have been there, but didn't go, that's a lot. That's a lot. So again, the main event, you had the Elite beating Jurassic Express and the Lucha Brothers. Christian comes out, tries to make the save. You know, props to AEW for that expense of putting the cage together and just to bring it down tonight. You know, that's more expensive than you think. And basically it's the BTE trigger on Christian. And that's how, you know, we go off the air with Dynamite. It's usually the opposite. If Kenny Omega is going to retain, usually the opposite opponent gets the upper hand on the last televised show before the pay-per-view to give you that thought, that lasting thought, like, hey, this person could actually beat the champion. Today they did the opposite. So Dynamite wasn't a bad show. I think there were a couple of moments that were less to be desired. But, you know, for AEW standards, no reason why they can't do 1 million again this week. I think this week they do like 1 million. You know what? I'll say like 1,075,000, 1,075,000. Because the main event, I mean, like we said last week, the first Dynamite after CM Punk signs and appears. And you think they would put on like almost a pay-per-view quality Dynamite for all those casual WWE viewers that don't really watch AEW. They want to see the first Dynamite with CM Punk on it. You know, it might be sold. And no, they give us Malachi Black versus Brock Anderson as a main event. I'm still baffled by that. All right. Couple other things, and we're going to go because we're at 2-hour mark. I figured we were going to go about 2 hours. By the way, happy 100 for Dynamite. Today is their 100th episode of Dynamite. We're episode 103 officially for Wednesday Night Dynamite. I started 3 weeks before Dynamite started. Actually, I think I started a month before because there might have been one Wednesday that I didn't do. I'm looking for updates, trying to see if I see any updates. The latest. Hold on. Nothing. No update yet. Okay. I don't know if we're going to get an update tonight. You know what I hope for? And I think we would all forgive her too. I hope that she posts a video tomorrow, 1 minute, 2 minutes, apologizing, even though you shouldn't apologize. I mean, you know, depression is something that, you know, just overtakes people. But, you know, if something or someone was there to stop what she was thinking, I'd like to see her come up there, even if she had a couple of drinks, you know, and maybe she just, you know, because you know that does happen to people sometimes. You know, you have a couple of drinks, you take something, and it kind of like does the adverse effect. You look at all the commercials out there. You look at commercials for even like skin pills for like eczema, and you'll see side effects like, you know, Common side effects are skin rash, diarrhea, some adverse effects, which are not common, but call your doctor if you start experiencing thoughts of depression, suicide. Things could make it worse instead of making it better. So in a perfect world, I'd love to see her post a video tomorrow, letting everyone know she's okay. And she's very, very sorry for making everybody concerned, even though she owes no apology. And she is going to get, or is getting, the help that she needs. That's it. And she's got my support. And like I said, I'm 99% certain the number I left the message on earlier is her number. It is her number. Because the letter I'm looking at right here is only 6 years old. And I don't think she's changed the number in the last 6 years. So, all right. Anyway, let me talk about this for a minute. This will be very quick. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because this is going to happen in other states as well. Whether you're going to AEW, whether you're going to WWE, be prepared for this. Now, for some of you out there that follow me on a weekly basis, you know that I already talked about this 6-7 weeks ago when I was talking about what changes were going to be coming to New York with restaurants and everything like that. AEW posted this earlier today. Anybody 12 and older, and the reason why anybody under 12 can go is because kids under 12 cannot be vaccinated yet. I'm a little surprised that they would just say no children under 12. They could have done that, but they didn't. I know that may sound a little bit cold or something like that, but, it is what it is. But anyway, anybody 12 years old or older are now required to show proof of at least one shot of the COVID vaccine in order to go to the AEW Grand Slam event September 22nd in New York, Queens, New York. Now, I appreciate what they wrote, but I want to clarify, because I live in New York and I'm a New Yorker, and I've gotten 3 shots of the vaccine. And I've set up almost 100 appointments for people, as you all know already. So I have done a lot of work on this. So I can tell you this firsthand. They put on this list that what you can provide as proof of vaccination is a CDC vaccination card or a photocopy of the card. You could also show your New York City vaccination record or immunization record from within or outside the U.S., including from your healthcare provider. I don't want to say that's not accurate, but if somebody's coming from overseas, it is very, very difficult to verify proof of vaccination if you're coming from another country. I think they cut and paste this from another website, but I don't even think that's really going to apply. New York City COVID safe application, which I have, and I'm going to show you a screenshot of it in a minute. Excelsior Pass, which honestly is the same as the Safe app. That's why I know they just cut and paste this from somewhere else. Or an official immunization record from outside New York City or the U.S. All right. In simple English, if you got the COVID vaccine, you have to show proof of it. This is mine. I got 3 doses. My 3rd dose, I think it's only today, makes 14 days, or tomorrow makes 14 days. So that 3rd dose that I got on August 19th, that won't show up on my official record until 14 days afterwards. So you could show your card. Make a photocopy of it. You bring the card, whichever one you want to do. All right. When you go to New York, okay, you can also show this. This is, why did that shut off? Hold on a second. I don't know why this is shutting off. Let me fix this setting. I know what it is. Hang on a second. Okay. Let me reset this. Oh, I know what it was. It automatically started pressing play. Okay. This is the app that you get on your iPhone. It's NYS Excelsior Pass. Now, the safe application that they talked about on the AEW forum is the same thing as this app. When you install this app on your phone, it creates what they call like a safe, where your vaccination information is stored in this virtual safe on your phone. It's the same thing. This is the app you want to search for and download. Now, here is something that they did not tell you. You can get this app, and anybody in the United States can use this app, but you have to have been vaccinated in New York, or you have to have proof that you have been tested negative, I think within 14 days. That's how you can use this app. Now, being tested doesn't matter because they're not letting you in if you take a test 5 minutes before the pay-per-view and you're like, hey, or no, the Grand Slam event, say, hey, everybody, I'm tested negative, let me in. So forget the testing part. We're only talking vaccination right now. So this is what the app looks like, and this is actually a screenshot from my phone. If you look on the right where it says NYS Wallet, that is the Safe app. It's the same thing. So that wallet is where your COVID information is stored. So now, if you don't have a COVID card and you install that app instead, when you open that app, you'll enter your vaccination information. I have two passes. I have the Excelsior Pass, which is the blue one on the bottom, and I have the Excelsior Pass Plus. Now, the difference between the two, you could show proof of either one. So if you have this app on your phone and you open this app, you could just show them your pass. This is the front screen and that's it. But what they'll probably have you do is this. Watch. See this? This is that blue pass I just showed you. That is the barcode. Yes, you'll see like a yellow box in the middle. I cut part of it because I don't want anybody photocopying it and scanning using my scan. So I cut a little piece out so nobody could copy it. But that's the barcode for that bottom card I just showed you. So when you show up at the stadium, and look, I'm mentioning this because this has more to do than just AEW coming to New York. A lot of other states are doing the very same thing or are about to do the very same thing. So your state will likely have a different app to install, but they're all trying to use the same format. So even if you're not going to AEW's Grand Slam in Queens, New York, be prepared that you will likely have to do this somewhere else. So that is a barcode. On the bottom, it shows your date of birth. And because I was fully vaccinated, my card is good until that was February of next year, because my second dose was February of this year. You show them the barcode, they will zap it, they will see that it's legit. They may ask you to show ID as well. They want to make sure, like in my case, they want to make sure that the driver's license, Anthony DeBlasi, is that. If you show them this, there's no picture ID on there. They have no way of knowing if this is even your vaccination card. So you could use that. The other card, which is the plus that AEW is talking about, is this. Now, it looks almost exactly the same. What this one does is it goes one step further, and I'll show you the next screen. What it does is it actually, I'm sorry for I didn't realize that it was going to be transparent where I cut. That's why my nose is sticking out on the bottom. Should have just been a black box. But that actually shows the date of my vaccination, the location of my vaccination, and what medication, which COVID vaccine I got. That is what the plus card does. So really what it comes down to is, if you're going to go to this event in Queens, you're going to have to either show them your COVID card or a photocopy of it. Have ID. have ID. They're probably not going to ask for it, but have it just in case. They want to make sure your ID matches the COVID card. Don't borrow anyone else's. You'll get in trouble if they catch you. So you can either show the COVID card or you download that app that I just showed you. You enter in your vaccination information and it'll give you a pass like I did. The pass, you can do it right now. You'll have the pass in 45 seconds. You don't have to wait days to get approved. You just got to make sure you enter the date of your second dose, your date of birth, what county you got it in, and which medicine. They're going to match it up. If it doesn't match up, it'll get rejected. Or you get your immunization record. That is something else you could get from the Department of Health as well. So that's it. The COVID card, the app I just showed you, or your immunization record. If you're from out of state, you show your card or you show the immunization record. If your app has a form of a pass, I don't think New York can scan a barcode from Iowa or Jersey or Pennsylvania. So if you have your original COVID card, take a picture of it. If you have more than one proof, come with more than one so you don't have any issue. You got to remember, there's going to be 15,000 fans or whatever is going to be there showing up. They're not going to spend more than 5 seconds on each person. It'll take days for them to go through everyone. But what they're going to do is they're going to look at the card, or they're going to tell you, have out your card and your ID. And they'll look at both. They'll tell you to show you both. They'll look at it. Okay, this is my card. This is my ID. The names match. The photo looks like me. Fine, you walk in. This is going to happen all across the United States. Some states are a little bit, late to do it. But that's why New York, thank God, the numbers aren't great. But thank God, if you look at all of the numbers that are really having like huge numbers of cases, New York is not on that list. I mean, they've really, tried to take control of this. I mean, I have a lot of pissed off customers. I have customers, I can't fucking go to the gym. You can't go to the gym. You can't go to a restaurant. You can't go to a diner unless you're vaccinated. Not even, hey, look, I just got tested an hour ago. I'm clean. Not good enough. You got to, and here's the most important thing. I showed you my card. I got 3 shots of the vaccine. January 19th, February 18th, and August 19th. You only have to show proof of 1 shot. Do not get the shot the day before you go to an AEW or WWE event. You will probably feel like garbage the next day. You will regret it. My advice, if you're going to get the shot right before you go to one of these events, my advice is get the shot 2 weeks before, 14 days before. It takes 14 days for your body to create the antibodies, to really start kicking it in. For my 3rd shot, I only need 12 days. So I think today is officially my booster day or whatever you want to call it. But you only need to show 1 shot. So if you get 1 shot, you get it 5 days before, it'll be okay. Again, look at this. It doesn't say that you have to do it 2 weeks before. Hell, I expect some people to show proof that they got vaccinated earlier that day. I'm not kidding. I guarantee you will hear reports that some people went and walked into a Walgreens and got their asses vaccinated right before the show. Honestly, even though I wouldn't push it, here in New York, the baseball stadiums had the COVID shots on site. They should have had like a little mobile area in the parking lot. Oh, you want to go to AEW tonight, Grand Slam? Go get vaccinated first. I know that's really, like cutting it close, but get the shot like 2 weeks before. I mean, that's September 22nd. So 2 weeks means September 7th. So don't wait till the last minute, but be prepared. If you live in a state where the numbers are not what they used to be, but still at a level that is very concerning, and they are having some mask mandates still and some restrictions, be prepared, that they will eventually require you to be vaccinated to do certain things. You want to go to an event, you want to go to a restaurant, you want to go to a concert, you want to go to you're going to have to show proof that have at least one shot. Because even though you're not fully vaccinated, having one shot does give you some decent protection. I don't know what the level is. I think they said that the first shot, you have like 60 or 70% efficacy. By the time you get the second shot, you're at like 94% efficacy. After 6 months, 7 months, you're down to like 70% efficacy. I know some people are just getting confused with numbers. Now with the third shot, I suppose we have 96% efficacy. So now if COVID tries to enter my nose is going to be like, fuck out of here. The fuck you doing? The fuck out of here. Seriously, yeah, my nose has like 500 omas. Like Raw Underground standing outside. Hey, you want to come in? I don't think so. So that's pretty much it. Oh, we didn't talk about this. Oh, I got to mention it. Ty Conti versus Penelope Ford. Decent match. Can't really complain all that much. Was not bad. The only thing I got a little chuckle out of it was after the match was over, it looked like Ty Conti was going to get a little bit of a beatdown, and Anna Jay made her return. Nice pop from the crowd. A lot of people are aware of the relationship with Anna Jay and Jungle Boy, but very well liked, period. And she's not bad in the ring. She made the save for Ty Conti, and they are close friends. It's funny, if you go back at it, Ty Conti, when she was hugging Anna Jay, Ty Conti she had a look on her face like a horror film, where somebody just got rescued from like Michael Myers. I said, if you go back and watch it, the way she was hugging Anna Jay, you would have thought that she saved her from the boogeyman. I kid you not. Yes, they are beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but I would have been disrespectful if I didn't talk about their match. It was not bad at all. It's funny because you realize that a lot of these women just need work. And they need work. This is not to be disrespectful against up-and-comers, but they need work against people who are on their level, because they not only have to, sometimes call the shots in the ring or to be the ring general, but they also have to be able to have someone else do it as well. And you call things in a match and the person you're facing is not very experienced and they turn into a deer in headlights. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So that's why, if you notice some of the better matches, number one, people are given extra time. And number two, people are wrestling against people on their level. So I'm going to wrap this up, but I will answer one question. I also want to mention it's two. Max Caster made his return to AEW tonight. He made the save for his tag team partner on Dark, Anthony Bowens, and Max Caster is back. When I did that cheesy rap a couple of weeks ago, remember, you should have waited, but you got clickbaited, blah, 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 blah. People fell for it. 90 days suspended. Gone from AEW. Selling his stuff on eBay. Took the stuff down on eBay literally an hour later. That's why people have to wait. They just want to race to get attention on social media. There was never any doubt about Max Caster in AEW. The company realizes, I'm looking to see if there's any updates. The company realizes that they also bear responsibility for what happened. And they also realize that what I've said before, that everybody on the roster that heard what he said, nobody went to management that whole week and said, I don't know about what he said. I think you might get some fire for this. Why didn't some people on that roster get offended just about the Simone Biles stuff? All right, I'm looking for one final update. Yeah, there's no update. So, all right. Well, we won't talk about it again. Tomorrow, when we do the Don Tony show, we'll hopefully have a great update. And if she's okay, I am going to reach out to her again. And probably again and again. I hope I talk to her. Few people asked me about Trevor Murdoch winning the NWA championship. You know, Mish and I had a good conversation about this on Patreon yesterday. And look, when I mentioned Patreon, in no way am I trying to get anybody to sign up there about a money grab. I'll never do that to you. You know, I'll talk about stuff here. I'm not going to check on my pay site for the answer. I don't do that. But the conversation we had yesterday is this. Trevor Murdoch, NWA fans, he gives an aura of Dusty Rhodes. Now, I know for some of you who have not followed Trevor Murdoch in a very long time, you're going to be like, huh? What are you talking about? Trevor Murdoch comes across with NWA fans as almost like the common man. I mean, and Mish brought out a great point yesterday. Even when Trevor Murdoch, you kicked my dog. You just feel horrible for this guy when he loses. You know, this is a character that I don't even think Trevor Murdoch ever envisioned him turning himself into. So, look, it's like the common man winning the championship. Of course, he is not a Dusty Rhodes, you know, but he is coming across as a very likable guy, common person, not this just bitter Southern drunk or, you know, whatever they used to do with him. But the issue is this. Will it sell tickets? There's almost no merchandise for Trevor Murdoch. Why isn't there merchandise for Trevor Murdoch? More merchandise. You know, they need to invest in their wrestlers and get some merchandise going, get more stuff going. I don't know how much Trevor Murdoch will sell headlining an NWA pay-per-view. Nick Aldis has been an excellent champion. Obviously, COVID led to him not defending the title all that much. Nick Aldis doing a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. So, you know, Nick Aldis, this I think gives Nick Aldis a little bit more freedom, that if he works other promotions and works other venues, he can now eat a pin once in a while. You know, it's not easy to have someone eat a pin when they're a champion for a major company. Very, very difficult to have someone work another federation and eat a pin. So I don't know how long this lasts. Yes, you're right, Sam. He was trained by Harley Race, but Trevor Murdoch never had that aura of him that made you really care, deeply care about the guy. And, you know, he's connected with NWA fans. A lot of friends of mine, or a lot of people I talk to online that are very loyal to NWA, you know, all think this is a great moment. But I think most agree also, is this the long term? You know, let's see 2 months from now if Trevor Murdoch is still your heavyweight champion. I'm not so sure. So, yes, Hueco, I mentioned a few moments ago that the Acclaimed is back. Max Caster showed up, made the save. Never left. He just told him, take a few weeks off. Let's get this, you know, put it aside for a little bit. CM Punk will come in, you know, let it die down, you know, let everything just subside. You know, he made a mistake. It's not the end of the world. And he's back. Look, I always took the side of Max Caster. What he said was terrible. Should not have been said. No question. But, you know, you make mistakes. You own up to it. You know, Tony Khan, like I said, I wasn't aware of it. I was in the back doing stuff. And again, not to beat a dead horse, but they got giant speakers in the back of Daly's place. He's on the microphone. He wasn't yelling out in the crowd, Simone Biles, she's so good. No, he was on the microphone. Everybody backstage, it was blasting out of the speakers. They have, so you know, they have private rooms with square speakers in the corners. And when you go on the main It's called the main channel. When you go on the main channel, it plays across every speaker in the back as well. So like I said, unless Tony Khan was conducting interviews in the bathroom and everybody was flushing the toilet and running the dryer, and that's why you didn't hear the promo, I can't understand how nobody heard it. All right, everybody, I'm going to jet out of here. It's been a, I don't want to even use the word difficult because, I could only imagine, when you get to that level. I mean, I'll say this. I've had moments in my life where I was very depressed. I saw a psychologist. When I got married and had my marriage annulled in 1999, I got into a deep, deep, deep depression. And I saw a psychologist for a little while. And they put me on some medications for like 2 weeks. It gave me a headache. I think I gained some weight from it. And I was like, I don't need this shit. And I'm going to share everybody a little quick story. I promise you what I'm about to say, I guarantee you some of you are going to email or DM me and say, holy shit, that happened to me too. You didn't have to be married either. You don't even have to feel rock bottom. I met my ex when I least expected it. I thought I was going to have a family, have a future with her. We were trying to have a kid. She had fertility problems. And I remember to this day, the doctor telling her, don't put all your eggs in one basket. It's not going to happen the first time around, but keep trying and keep trying. Well, she put all her mental eggs in all in one basket. And when she found out that she wasn't pregnant, she got into this deep depression. So long story short, I sent her to Florida so she could meet her father that she had not seen in 20 years, meet family members. And I went down there a couple of days later to spend some time with her too. And when I got there, she says to me in front of her whole family, so we're going to move down here and live here. What are you talking about? Not moving to Florida. Then I thought about it. I'm like, look, if this is what's going to save us and everything, but I got my family here. But I said, I'll try. So I started looking into, changing my license to Florida, moving to Florida. And after a week, she's like, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? I'm like, this is going to take a little bit more time than that. You're asking me to just pack up and go. When I first met her, she never wanted to ever see a father or a family again. I did it, try to cheer her up. Now she's in Florida, spending time with him, and she don't want to come back. So after 2-3 weeks, I'm like, wait a minute. I just got married, and my wife is in Florida, and I'm in New York, and like something's got to, it's got to give here. Anyway, the bottom line is this. We had a huge falling out, and I ended up getting divorced. I went and got a divorce lawyer. I got the marriage annulled also. Paid the church thousands of dollars to erase it. I felt so awful for my family. My family paid for the entire wedding because her mother lived in a trailer park in Sanford, Florida, had no money. Her mother was the type of person that would buy a credit card, max it out, and then file for bankruptcy. She actually did that. Her family was white trash to the max. But I cared about her. My family was happy for me. They went along with it. 3 months later, it was over. I was so embarrassed for my family that this money, everything, the wedding, the reception, and I lost it. I saw a psychologist. They put me on some medication for 2 weeks. I felt like crap. I felt worse. And I think I was gaining weight from it. And yes, that led to me having an eating disorder after that. But there was one particular moment in my life that turned it around for me about this depression with my relationship. And again, you don't have to be married. You could be in your 20s right now and you had a bad breakup with someone and you're very, very sad and depressed right now about it. And this is true. This is true. No, I dated her for 5 years, Mark. We got married and 3 months later it was over. It was over. About 6 months 7 months after it was over. I'm not joking. Some people might think I'm whack job for saying this, but I went to a psychologist. I took medication. I know I was smoking at the time, not because of that, but I was just smoking. And I was eating a lot. And one day I was in my house watching TV. I swear to you, not kidding. I was watching TV. And I looked to the left of my bed and I saw over half the bed empty. And I looked at myself. I'm not kidding. I looked at myself and I said, why am I always sleeping on the far right side of the bed? Why am I always laying on the far right side of my bed? I realized that even though it was over and I was alone, I still only stood on one part of the bed. And I swear to you, I literally took my ass and just went to the middle of the bed. And I went like this. And I was like, this feels pretty nice. And that was the moment that I really started letting go. That I was like, I don't need to limit myself. I don't need to deprive myself of things. You know, it didn't work out. Me being sick to my stomach isn't going to change things. And from that moment on, I didn't, the next day I wasn't walking around like, hey, I want to get laid. No, I mean, it took time, but that was the first day of my road to overcoming this. And yeah, I'm far right. But you know what the best part of this all is? This is another thing I'll tell you really true. It's true, and we'll end it. About a year and a half later, she contacted me. She realized she made a mistake. Now, understand that by a year and a half later, I was over it, strong, got her out of my head. It's almost like watching a movie. Like I blocked it as much as I could. Now, let me also tell you this. This is funny. When we got divorced, she wanted nothing. She wanted nothing. I guess she felt guilty also. All she wanted was my dog. You fuck out of here. You ain't getting my dog. I'll fucking murder the whole country before you take my dog. You ain't taking my dog. So when the lawyers came back to me and said the only thing she wants is the dog, I said, you know, I could give her the urn. I said, the dog died. And you know, I wasn't talking to her. Obviously, it was through the lawyers. And the lawyers were like, what? I'm like, yeah, the dog died. Had to put him down a couple of months ago. The dog didn't die. So she let that go. We got divorced. I got it annulled. I didn't have to give her nothing. She didn't have anything before then. You know, she wasn't getting nothing. So I got my dog. So a year and a half after that, I started feeling better. So this is about 2 years after everything ended. She calls me up out of nowhere. And I was like, please don't call here. And she's like, look, could we just talk for a minute? I'm like, all right, what? And she starts crying like a baby. I made a mistake, this and that. You know, I want to, you know, try to work things out. Now my head is a fucking mess because I just got myself strong enough to get by this. And I realized I made the biggest mistake of my life. And I'm like, you know, now I'm thinking to myself, man, what am I going to do? She's like, you know, I want to see you. I want to see you. I'm like, look, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't want to do this. While I'm on the phone with her, here in the background, I hear, and she's like, what's that? I was like, what's what? Oh no, it's the TV. She's like, fuck TV. She's like, that Peanut's still alive? I'm like, come on. There's no way I was giving you my dog. So she realized that the dog was still alive. I never met her father, person asking. So anyway, she insisted that she wanted to come to New York and for us to get together and maybe try to work it out again. And I thought about it for a day or two. I even remember telling my mother's not really outspoken like that. And even when I told her, she's like, you fucking nuts. After what she did to you. And then if she changes her mind again, you're going to be, no, she's like, you do what you want, but you're crazy. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I told him, like, look, I can't. I just can't. It's like, please, just one night, this and that. So now, my penis starts talking to me, and I'm thinking like, if I get laid, it's just so what? You just get laid. But then I was like, no, man, I don't want drama in my life. That's one thing about me, even with this stuff online with other people, I don't want drama. So I'm like, no. She's like, well, I'm going to come to New York. And, I'm like, look, if you come to New York, I'm not going to answer the door. No bullshit. About a week and a half later, my phone rings and, it's a cell number. I don't answer it. About maybe a half hour later, my doorbell rings. And I look through the hole on my door, and it's her. She came all the way from Florida to New York. Now, I'm sure she came to New York to see her friends and others too, but she showed up at my house. She knew where I lived. So she rang my doorbell. So now I'm behind my door, and I'm like, what do I do? And I swear on God, my penis started talking to me again. He's like, open the door, open the door, open the door, open the door. But then I was like, no. So I literally just crouched underneath my door, and I acted like I wasn't there. And she started ringing the doorbell. And I went on the microphone thing on my door. I'm like, look, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops. And if I knew back in 2001 that, like we'd have all this digital technology now, I should have shot it on my phone. I should have grabbed my phone, and I should have just went in the corner of my window, and I'm like, hey, everybody, watch this. I'm going to just say, fuck you. And she just stormed away, pissed off. I never hung out with her. She's been remarried, I think, 3 times already since then. And she has dropped a bunch of kids too. She's got like 3 kids. But I had hit a very, very dark place because, of everything that happened. I felt I let my family down, that I let myself down. I was lonely. I just felt like, after my car accident, I thought she was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. And I realized I made a horrible mistake. And I'm so glad that I didn't open that door, because who knows what would have transpired since then. So, yeah, the day that I looked over my bed and realized that I had the whole bed was mine. See, that's the thing you got to think about. I realized, and it hit me like, why am I depriving myself? This is mine. I don't have to enjoy just a portion of it. It's mine. It's my life. And that was the first day of the beginning of my healing. As weird as that sounds, that is legit. I've told that story once or twice over the years, but there's a lot of things I left out still. But I wanted to leave tonight on a little bit more of a positive note. I have no idea what went down in her house tonight. I hope to God we get good news. I expect to hear some relieving news. Relieving news might be the better way to put it. I'm looking for an update. I'm looking for another update. No update. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here now. I hope to have some relieving news that she's okay. And it's going to be a long road ahead. But I will say this, she's a strong woman. She's a strong woman. I mean, I really don't want to reveal like a lot of the personal stuff that has happened over the years, but, not everybody could have gone through a lot of what she went through. And I tell you, the neck stuff and the injury, and even the mental, depression of not being able to do the things that you love to do. I mean, that is hard on a lot of people. You know who that reminds me of? Seriously, Crash Holly. Crash Holly I was the one. If you actually do a Wayback Machine search and you look up the details behind Crash Holly and how he was found, I'm the one that actually got all those papers. You'll actually see a lot of websites, credit Anthony DeBlasi for this story. Anthony DeBlasi, WrestlingNews.com, revealed this, and this. And the one thing was that he was dealing a lot of depression of not being able to enjoy and have a wrestling career that he had. And, he OD'd. And that Crash Holly stuff, that shook me because, at that time, I was in my skip tracing and all my, connections of being able to get information. Sometimes it was beneficial and sometimes it was the worst thing to happen to me. The Perry Saturn stuff was insane. And I still think back at those days with Crash Holly, and that is, honestly, that is one of the saddest stories as far as someone losing their life at such a young age, because he had he had issues with pain and medication and depression. And man, I remember on my hotline saying, I hope we never have another Crash Holly. Unfortunately, there's going to be tragedies in the future. People that are famous, people that are not famous, people that would know, hopefully none of us, but man, I got to just keep the faith and keep hope that we'll hear some positive news. It's gonna be a rough night, man. I'm sure I pop an Ambien and I'm going to fall asleep. I got to get some sleep. Life has to go on. But, I will admit that every time I get up, I'm probably going to do some searching and got my phone, never know. Maybe I'll get a call. So, China's was tragic as well. China's was tragic as well, but the difference is that China had a horrible enabler, that guy Anthony. And I talked to family members and friends of China. I talked to family members right after she died, and they told me some stuff that I have never told to this day about this guy Anthony and some of the possessions and what they did to, I think the mother and stuff like that. Some of the stuff was horrible. I talked about it on my shows in the past. But I truthfully believe that if that guy, to me, what happened to China is the same thing of what happened to, who is that blonde model that died of an overdose also, that was married to the millionaire? And a lot of you know who it is. This is like a 5-second delay. But who is that model, the Playboy model that married like a 90-year-old and then she died of an overdose? Anna Nicole Smith. No, Anna Nicole Smith's wait, why does that sound wrong? Wait, Anna Nicole Smith? Yeah. For some reason, I thought of O.J. Simpson for a second. His wife. No, Anna Nicole Smith. Yeah. China, her passing reminded me of Anna Nicole Smith. Reminds me a little bit of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had an enabler, which happened to be a doctor that was giving him stuff that he shouldn't have. This guy Anthony was giving China stuff, and China, he felt like they were family because he was helping her and he cared about her, and he was an enabler. That guy Anthony's a piece of shit. And the difference with Crash Holly is Crash Holly was all alone. He had his friends. His friends like Stevie Richards and others really cared for that guy and were devastated about his passing. Nobody could have saved him as much unless they would have strapped him to a bed and watched him 24 hours a day. It gets to a point where you can only do so much. And those guys, really cared for Crash Holly. Crash Holly died alone. Didn't have an enabler. So it's a little different. So hopefully we'll have some better news tomorrow. So everyone have a good night. It's been a long one, but hopefully, because I know some of you out there deal with issues, depression. Some of you know people that have dealt with it. We've seen some tragedies with Hana Kimura and others. And I tell you, tonight was a little eye-opening for me, myself, just to see how people treat that online. To have people that smug, that someone, tries to help and get information and you just no-sell that person, and then laughing about the cage and what went down on Dynamite, I'm like, wow, but because these people have hundreds of thousands of people that follow them and look up to them, what are you going to do? You going to fight with people like that? It's just, it really shows you. I mean, it really shows you who truly gave a shit and who truly just went through the motions. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. Yeah, Lee just posted 1-800-273-TALK. If anybody out there ever needs, to call. Look, I'd love to be like that and say, here's my phone number if anybody needs to talk. I mean, you could always DM me and email me and, we'll go from there. But I just, it's hard for me to put my personal information out there like that. I don't think anybody would. But, be prepared in case one of your close friends, relatives goes through a crisis that you're not aware of. Have everybody's phone numbers handy. Have their addresses handy. Because I tell you, it's, I lost touch over the last 5 or 6 years. But imagine if it was somebody that was a family member or a very close friend, and you don't live anywhere near them, and you can't find their phone number, and you can't find their address, and you can't reach anybody, and if they were this close, you would just go there yourself and break the door down, and you realize there's nothing you can do. So keep the stuff aside. And believe it or not, I tell you, hopefully, if you're dealing with issues, hopefully others are doing the same. Because if you ever enter crisis mode, that might be the difference of somebody intervening in time and just trying to, pull you out of that dark hole. Because when you get depression like that, it just feels like everything is caved in and that's it. I don't have my family. I don't have my pets. I don't have significant other. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have my future. I don't have this. And a couple of tweets thinking about you, caring about you, it's not enough for a lot of people. That's why we still get tragedies. But hopefully some of what we talked about tonight helped in some way. A lot of people out there that are listening to this are probably dealing with stuff and you keep it bottled in and never reveal it. That night with Lucky 13, it was a life-changing experience for a lot of us that were there. Because when we were done doing that show and seeing a lot of you forming a line and going up to us and saying, man, I was homeless. I lost my house in an earthquake, and you guys, the only thing that kept my sanity. I lost my mom. I lost my wife. I was thrown out of my house. This person died. I went through this. I had a drug addiction, this and that. You guys, in some way, shape, or form, just, Mish and I, after, were like, we're just hotline hosts and podcasters. And you realize that, no, it's more than that. That's why, like I say, my channel may only have 1/10 the numbers of a lot of other places out there. But the big difference is whether you turn your video on, whether you turn your computer on, whether you chat on the chat screen or you don't, that person is going to say the very same things, whether you're watching or not. That is someone that is talking at you. When they vent about things about wrestling, when they vent about things about life, when they vent about things, they're throwing it out there. If you want to tune in, you tune in. If you don't want to tune in, don't tune in. But I'm going to say the same shit, whether you like it or not. That is someone that talks at you. Me, I try to talk to you. I try to talk as like one big family. Maybe we don't all know each other, and maybe some of you out there will never, ever, will come public and lurk. But that's the difference. I'd rather have a smaller, intimate family here where we all could kind of help each other a little bit, whether it's directly or indirectly, than to be someone that has 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 followers, 80,000 followers, and you're just talking into the screen. And the only, whether people tune in or not, you say the same things. That was never me since 1997, never will. And that moment that we had at Lucky 13, I don't think any other podcasters in wrestling, since we're in that field, I don't think any other podcasters out there would ever have had that. You would have some people say, oh, nice to meet you. Wow, you're such a likable guy. You're an awesome guy. Love your show. Great show. Great this. That's a big difference than, dude, I'm standing in front of my house right now that just got leveled from a tornado. And my cell phone battery is about to die, but I needed to call in your show just to tell you thank you for keeping my mind off the fact that my life is ruined. It might sound a little, like crazy now, but that happened on one of our live shows about 10 years ago. So, and we got pictures. Person sent us pictures just so we would not think that he was lying. So, all right, everybody, have a good night. We'll have a fun show tomorrow, I promise. And I'll be here live at 10:05. I am exhausted. And I could only imagine how people who are still close with Daphne feel right now. My heart goes out to everybody that is close with her. And truly, truly, it's just, we just got to hope to God. She's a strong woman. She's a strong woman. I hope to God that, she looked in the mirror like, what are you doing? You nuts? All right, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Post any comments. If you want to reach out to me, DonTony at dontony.com. DM me on Twitter. I'm always here. I try to be. So good night, everybody.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a podcaster. For me to live any other way was nuts. To me, those goody-good people who worked shitty jobs for bum paychecks and took the subway to work every day and worried about their bills were dead. I mean, they were suckers. They had no balls. If I wanted something, I just took it. I ran everything. I paid the bills. I paid the host. I even paid the masked maniac. Everybody had their hands out. Everything was for the taking. We always called each other good fellas. You would always hear from somebody. You're gonna like Don Tony. He's alright. He's a good fella. He's one of us. But if you're part of my crew, nobody ever tells you they're gonna get rid of you. It doesn't happen that way. There weren't any arguments or curses like in the movies. See, your haters come with smiles. They come as your friends, the people who've claimed they care the most for your life. And now that's all over. And that's the best part. Today everything is different. There's lots of action. I don't have to wait around for everything like everyone else. Oh, I didn't get the vaccine? Fuck you, vaccine me. Oh, your delivery guy has COVID? Fuck you, feed me. Right after I moved here, I ordered egg noodles and ketchup, and I got spaghetti with meat sauce. I'm no longer an average nobody, while they get to live the rest of their lives like a bunch of schnooks.